together.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has wrecked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Avoid the door knockers and storm chasers. We are local and we will be here long after the storm chasers are gone.
Check out PatriotBrothersRoofing.com or call 479-652-9479.
Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 10 days.
This hour of the Morning Rush is driven by Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and online at rathauto.com. You're rolling with Rath on the Morning Rush.
All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
I don't know what the guys who never played it down predicted us, and all that kind of stuff. But I know that we've got a really good freshman class that we do. Hence, if you don't want to rank us, that's fine. Don't you have to play all of them anyway? Roll that thing out there and let's see what happens. That's fine. We don't need to be ranked. If you don't want to rank it, we surprise a lot of people. We ain't surprising me. We've got a really good football team. We really, really do, and we're excited to get out there and play.
The upcoming game against Alabama A&M won't tell us anything good about this football team. It will tell us something bad, i.e. Western Carolina 28-6 when you couldn't run the football. What was it, 2 years ago? Like, that told you from the jump, if you dominate this team in 11 days, it doesn't matter. It is irrelevant.
I agree. I mean, if you want 70-0, didn't tell us anything either last year.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
I hope everyone came prepared today for What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. We've got plenty to get into. I know Colton's got some. Tommy's got some. You probably have some here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline at 877-377-6963. Tommy, I don't know if I'd necessarily say Sam Pittman has a beef with them not being ranked. I know they've kind of been right outside the polls and kind of like the 30s or 40s, depending on where you look. But I enjoyed him getting a little fired up on, I enjoy seeing that from time to time. You got to be able to defend your football team. You got to have some confidence what you do. That doesn't necessarily mean it'll translate to the fans, but I enjoy the, I don't know if animosity is the right word, but he got a little fired up on Monday.
And where was that at?
The Little Rock Touchdown Club.
Which was a room filled with?
Boosters.
All right, so a little red meat for the crowd. But, listen, he has consistently said he believes in his team. He thinks they're going to surprise some people. We've heard these things before. We'll see how it plays out. But, it would probably be more noteworthy if he said, I've watched practice and we got a long ways to go and we're not very good. But that's not what he has said. He has said it consistently throughout the summer and talking season and as he's visited with media in camp. So not surprised and good. I'm glad his dander's up a little bit about not being a ranked team.
I did get a kick out of this.
I also want to thank, everybody's been thanked, so never mind.
He is funny. We got to get that. 10 days out. We're almost in single days as we get ready for this upcoming football season. Alabama A&M, your first opponent. The good news, you don't have to have a beef, at least as it stands now. Weather looks pretty good. High of 80 in Fayetteville, sunny. I don't know if it's going to end up being that in 10 days from now, but as it stands here at 9:03 on August the 20th, we might be having a good first day of football in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Is that what the long-range 10-day forecast
14-day. I pulled up the 14-day this morning because I was just curious because you've been talking about the weather and everything next week.
You only need the 10-day, right? So, yeah. I mean, it would be a treat for the fans if it truly was 80. And that's good for the university and it's good for this football team, the program, the state that they're predicting that because people that are going to avoid it because of the weather potentially might make plans to be there. It is a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Whether it's bacon wrap fillets, gourmet burgers, or fresh kebabs, or maybe you're planning that first tailgate of the year, Richard's has everything you need for your tailgates and your home gates. Richard's Country Meat Market, 1 block east of College, and Rolling Hills Drive at 3042 North Market Avenue, or order online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
We talked about dial-up discontinuing. Surely it's been around for 34 years, I think, with AOL. I think one of the things I get frustrated by in 2025 is with all the technology, with all the advancements that we've had in a variety of different things on the computer space, sometimes when you're still buffering, you're still loading, you're still seeing the spin cycle on your computer when something's trying to download. I just don't understand how that's still an issue, a major issue for a lot of people in 2025. We should have the quickest speeds. We should have the fastest things when I'm trying to figure out stuff for our show or anything else. And I know a lot of you, like, whether it's big emails or you're trying to send something and it just takes forever, or your computer freezes or stuff like that. I think, like, technology, when it screws up on the computer, like it was for me this morning, is one of my beefs that you deal with week in, week out, and it's definitely one that I dealt with this morning.
And usually what causes those problems?
Usually what causes those problems? Are you looking for like a
human interaction? Usually what happens is we mess up the computers. We mess up the whatever, and then we want to blame the machine. But you're right. When you go in and you want to do a job, and I had one of these tasks yesterday that should have took 2 minutes because the computer didn't want to cooperate.
Yeah.
It took 22 minutes. There's 20 minutes I had planned to do something else.
Do you still have that relic that you're using, or did you actually advance and put everything on your new computer?
Oh, I've had this new computer for, I don't know, since last football season.
Well, you said you hated it, and you weren't going to use it.
You cannot.
I did, but eventually the machine just said no more.
So laptops typically last, depending on what you had, and Colton started admitting it, but they last 5 or 6 years. And Tommy has had this. How long did you have that computer? I mean, that looked like a computer from 1998.
No, it was only 5 or 6 years old. 5 or 6 years old.
Either way, I would watch him try to do stuff on it, Colton, and it would.
I didn't want to give it. I liked it. Here was the thing. I like the keyboard on it. I've got this new HP, and I hate the keyboard.
Doesn't clack just as right.
I hate it because it doesn't have the number pad, and I'm doing spreadsheets, and now I got to type. The numbers are 1 through 0 across the top. Well, I used to have one with a keyboard that had the 10 key on it. Now I don't. I mean, it's just I had touch screen on my old one. This one doesn't. I won't do that again.
Ty, can you really say anything? You still make all of us use Adobe Audition 1.5 from 2009.
And we will never. The moment, and this goes for everyone here, the moment that we try and change from 1.5, which was made when
2009,
I am no longer going to work here. I'm dead serious about that. The moment we try and change from that software, from us moving on from that software, is the day that I will no longer be at ESPN Arkansas. It's the best. I don't know why. I know people like updates. I know they like changes. Not when it comes to that. The new updates. It's basically our sound software behind the scenes. That you hear clips, you hear things behind the scene like this, whatever else. But it is the best, and they have screwed it up every single year, twice a year since 2009. And luckily, we have stood strong. We have stood the test of times for the last 16 years and kept the exact same piece of software that we were using in 2009. So that will never change as long as I'm here. If it does change, I will no longer be here. I will be moving to Charleston, South Carolina, restarting my life and doing something different other than sports radio.
Colton, look up how much that costs.
It's about $149.99 for the sweet prize. $149.99 for the year for the sweet prize.
I bet Clay would pay for it.
Yeah. Phil said, Phil's listening.
Clay will pay for it right now.
Phil's listening. He said, is that all it takes for Ty to quit here on the Lewis
Here
Automotive
comes Clay. Clay's running into the studio with his credit card. Clay, slow down, man. Slow down. Whoa.
Is Clay with you tomorrow and Friday?
He may be with me permanently now with this news. So.
Well, I guess I could complain about this. This is going to sound like a first world problem, but I am going to be in Santa Rosa the next few days. And while the weather is going to be great here in Arkansas for the foreseeable future, we're finally going to get some rain. We're going to get a relief from all the heat we've had. it looks like it's gonna rain the next 4 days in Santa Rosa, which I'm very disappointed in. I wanted to be outdoors, get some exercise, and be on the beach and whatnot, but I think we're going to be confined to our house the entire
weekend. No one goes to Santa Rosa. No one goes to 38 to get exercise. What are you talking about?
I need to get some exercise. I've let myself go before football season, and with football season comes sitting on the couch more, comes binge eating more, binge drinking more. There's a lot of things that you have to, again, calibrate for the next foreseeable future, next 3 or 4 months, and I've got to set the tone starting this weekend, but I'm not going to be able to because it's going to be raining the whole time.
And Colton and I will be busy installing the new Adobe Audition.
Oh gosh! I'm not kidding. If I come back and that's installed, you guys can handle football season and everything from here on out. I'm just not going to do it. Text in from Seth in Fort Smith. What's crazy is the United States actually has some of the slowest internet in the world. The reason ours is so slow is because it's all about profit. Most countries across the world have internet access, don't charge out the wazoo because it's much faster for them than our internet. That's how it works when you live in an oligarchy, though.
I would say, well, we can have the socialist conversation later, but I would say our internet prices are actually pretty affordable because you think about what you pay for internet or fiber service. Mm-hmm. I know it's at my house. I need to move. I've got offers coming into my mailbox like constantly for like $50 a month for a gig. You'd give up a whole lot of other things in your life before you'd give up $50 a month for internet. So I would say internet's actually not overpriced. We do have multiple deals. I don't know what speeds they offer elsewhere, but hell, if I wanted, I can get 10 gigs at my house. I don't need that. I've got plenty of speed. So there wasn't much good that came out of COVID. There wasn't much good that came out of the pandemic, but one thing that did come out of the pandemic that was good, we put fiber internet everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if in the middle of rural Arkansas, we now have fiber internet everywhere. So that was the one of the few positives out of that crisis.
Who would have thought? Jay texted in, I constantly have 4 to 5 bars, 5G, and my phone still buffers constantly here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. So, all right, technology is my beef. Where do you go for yours, Tommy? And then Colton, you can tell yours before we get into some football stuff.
My beef is we've already started school, and now I've got 3 sick-uns at my house. So I got my wife and both my kids at home, and I've got to take. Yesterday we took one to the doctor. I got to take the other one today because the wife has now got it. So here we are, 5 days into school or whatever, and we're already getting the illnesses and the stomach bug and the stuff that's being passed around.
It's a cesspool.
It is,
and it's worse in like daycare.
It's a giant petri
not
dish.
that it isn't in elementary, middle school, and high school, but I don't think like kids are constantly playing and hitting with each other when they're in daycare, and not as much when you're in elementary, middle school, and high school. But it is like you're so compressed when you think about the hallways. I know your kids don't have lockers anymore, like you were telling us, but in classrooms and everything else, one kid catches it, then another kid, then the teacher, and then it always comes back to the parents. And my bonus sisters and brother-in-laws, like their kids are all under 11, I think. And so when one kid gets it, kind of like with yours, Tommy, it infects the entire family. So that's what are you getting?
So
Z-Packs?
That's one of my beefs this morning. I don't know. I've got 4:15 today. We got an appointment at the walk-in clinic.
Okay.
So.
Speaking of kids, what's your beef this morning, Colton?
Look, if you know somebody, anybody that makes Pampers, Huggies, anybody at all that makes wet wipes or knows somebody up in the wet wipe game, smack them in the face.
Guys,
okay?
just pee.
That's right, Ty. Guys just pee. And I'm sitting there with my son. He's firstborn. I'm trying to learn all the things, how to do a diaper change quickly, efficiently, and everything. And look, I'm reminded of Aaron Judge hitting a 400-something foot home run where it shows the launch angle and the distance. It does the ball trajectory all the way out of the stadium. That's what I imagine every time I go to change my son's diaper and he hits the wall 4 feet away with a nice steady stream. And so it's just unfortunate.
Healthy.
While I'm trying to hold him,
young lad.
very healthy. And while I'm trying to hold him in one hand, trying to open up a pack of wet wipes with the other one, it cannot be done with one hand. So if you're out there, Pampers, Huggies, anybody, fix your stuff. Make it easier. Make it easy for anybody to do it with the baby in their hand. That's
Well, first of all, you got to lay the lad down.
I have laid.
And then you've got to get all. You've got to get all. Trust me, I've changed tens of diapers. My wife changed most of them, but I watched her do it. And you lay them. You get the other diaper kind of underneath them. You get your wet wipes there. You don't unseal that package until you have all your supplies at the ready.
Maybe so, but I can't.
And then you
got
to keep. And you're right with boys. You got to keep that that top lid on that diaper kind of over it, because you're right. As soon as you open that package, bam.
But even with two hands, I'm sitting there having to fiddle with the thing because my hands are slippery. I gotta. It's a mess.
You got to lay it all out before you even start.
I'm not gonna lay him in a puddle of his own piss.
No. You got to lay out the new diaper, the wipes. You got to get all that on the. So you're not trying, because I've made the same mistakes you are.
Why don't you come over and teach me something?
Look what you did. You lit up the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. If you've got some suggestions for Colton, you can call us, text us 877-377-6963. It is, of course, a What's Your Beef Wednesday, Tommy.
All right, we are brought to you this morning by APAC and Standard Materials Group. They are right there with everything you need for top quality aggregates, sand, gravel, asphalt, ready mix concrete. Big jobs, small jobs, commercial, residential, doesn't matter. APAC and Standard Materials Group in Northwest Arkansas is your number one source. 479-587-3300. If you're looking for someone to help you with every aspect of the job, they can do that as well. 479-587-3300 for APAC and Standard Materials Group.
This year will be the last year, I think, where it's going to be some inequality in finances. In other words, a lot of programs push 20, 25 million forward so they could have their 13, 14, 15 million in rev share all available for this class. I think this is going to be at least if the rules go through and the law goes through, that would be the last year for that. So I think it's going to, when we were all even, we went from 4 and 20 to top 20, when it was all even. And so I think this is the last year for that.
This is the opening drive.
That was Sam Pittman again at the Little Rock Touchdown Club earlier this week talking about that. And that is the hope. That is the desire for a lot of college football fans, coaches, administrators, at least some administrators. Some like it where it's at because they feel like they have an edge when it comes to competing. Tommy, things have changed. I know Sam Pittman also talked about that some schools pushed a lot of money right before it happened in July, if I remember that right, when they decided on the revenue share and everything else. But now, maybe not necessarily it impacts it this year, but I would hope that moving forward for Arkansas and other schools that are just trying to compete, it is more fair on the NIL level. You're never going to have an equal level on the recruiting side in terms of state talent, because you just don't stack up from a talent standpoint to other states year after year. But at least from a money and a payment standpoint, that's the goal. And I know Sam Pittman is really hoping it is on that way starting this year and from here on out.
Well, and I don't think he said starting this year. I think he said kind of after this year, because like I said, some schools push some money forward, but the inequality and that gap will diminish. So I still don't think you're going – as long as there's no enforcement of the rules, and as long as there's no one, as I was coming up I-49 and on I-40 and different road, there was plenty of speed limit enforcement out there this morning. And if you're driving I-49, be careful. But the NCAA has no state troopers. They got no one writing tickets. I saw them everywhere this morning. It wasn't so much the state troopers, it was the highway police. They had people pulled over everywhere today. The NCAA's not doing that. If there were no police, we'd just drive 100, right? All the time. Well, I mean, until that part of the equation is solved, I'm not as hopeful as others that we're still not going to have schools that have at least somewhat of a sizable edge, because they've got more money than they know what to do with. So I'm still not sure how conferences and the NCAA and whoever's in charge of enforcement is going to truly make it a level playing field.
Well, that's the hope. It is kind of interesting. The first year of people forget. First year of NIL in 2021, I guess July 1st, if I remember that right. I think the first one was for Arkansas was like Trey Knox with PetSmart. Arkansas went 9-4 that year. I still think they could have capitalized better on that and utilized it. It's, I guess, water under the bridge now. But hopefully, again, this is something.
Nobody knew what they were doing then. No one. But it wasn't just the schools. Businesses didn't have budgets for it. They didn't know how to engage it. We still thought, well, that's not what this is supposed to be. It's this isn't supposed to be pay for play. Well, wink, wink, it was. I mean, no one any step of the process, from school administration to the players and their agents to the coaches to the businesses, that were supposed to be the source of the funding. No one knew what they were doing back then.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. It's taking time. You want to figure some things out. So I get where you're coming from that perspective. All right, let's go to the Lewis Automotive Hotline where Ryan in Hot Springs is. He wanted to give Colton some baby tips this morning. Ryan, go ahead, man. You're on the morning rush.
Put it on me, Ryan. Save me.
Hey, just get ready. When they get up about 4, 5, 7 months old, when they kind of start getting into like listening to songs and stuff, just get ready for YouTube because they're going to be throwing a fit, and by the time you get ready to play a song, you're going to have to sit through a minute and a half of commercial. Just get ready for that because now I will say this: YouTube's going to be very, very handy for that. But I'm just telling you though, in the middle of a fit, and you're having to listen to it for a minute and a half, that stupid commercial cannot get over fast enough.
Maybe we should all chip in and get Colton like YouTube Premium that has no commercials.
That'd be nice.
Probably,
$15 a month.
Be a good idea.
Yeah, $15 a month can solve that.
But anyway, hey, did y'all by chance hear what I said on Chuck and Bo?
Missed
about the 2021 schedule?
On who?
So,
so
I was talking with my brother-in-law over the weekend. He asked the question because he's kind of freaking out over the schedule, not giving us really a chance to do real well. He's like, when was the last time we had a schedule this crazy? Well, I look back and I went to 2021. When y'all just kind of mentioned we went 9-4. And we actually played one more ranked team in 2021 than we do then, and we had 3 top 10 teams, and 2 of them were on the road, and 2 of them played had a say in the national championship in Alabama and Georgia. So I was just pointing out, that just because the schedule's tough in preseason doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be tough in the season because you got to play the games. You don't know when you're catching teams. So you just play the game and see how it works out. I guess kind of was my point.
You just kind of echoed it. Brian, appreciate the call. You kind of echoed what Sam Pittman said on not just Monday, but it's been saying all season. They got to play us too. I would say that season, non-conference, it's not close. I know you had Texas at home, and they were, I think, 21 when they came into your building. But when you look at the non-conference schedule you have this year versus that year, it's not comparable at all. Go ahead, Tommy.
Oh, I thought Ryan had more to say. All right, that is your opening drive. It's brought to you by the Fence Man. 782-3936 is the number. Custom fences of all kinds. Aluminum fencing's been really popular lately. Gives you a custom look. They can do different colors. The Fence Man can do all of that for you and provide you the privacy and the security you need. 782-3936 is the number. 782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Got a few more calls to get to when we come back. Plenty of texts as well here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Hog update coming up. We heard from Bobby Petrino yesterday. What did he have to say specifically about a certain position battle? We'll get in that and more when we come back.
Well, he's talking about Richard's Meat Market because that's my spot. And, of course, Richard and Chris have been around forever.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
My beef with you guys.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt. We're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, your headquarters for all things Razorback.
From clothing items like Nike, Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many more,
to a wide range of home, office, and fan cave decorations.
We even have furniture, a pool table, stuff for the yard, garden, and too much other stuff to mention.
So no matter if you're headed to the game or watching from your living room, stop by the Stadium Shop at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville. That's 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Or stop by the Interweb store at shoponrazorback.com.
Whoa, that's a first, Dad. You actually got it right. How'd you do that?
Well, I use that Googleator thing.
And we're back.
Anyway, that was shoponrazorback.com.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, and I have a plaque to prove it.
Folks, it just does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Right up there, number one.
This is the Morning Rush
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the relief hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Have you had Cheerwine yet? The cherry flavored soda has had people coming back since 1917. This is RD with Platinum Distributing. We help bring Cheerwine to the River Valley for you to try. Nothing goes with food like Cheerwine. Burgers, barbecue, pizza, you name it. Okay, now we're hungry and thirsty. Cheerwine is a one-of-a-kind soft drink with a unique cherry taste that has been delighting Southerners for more than a century. Pick up Cheerwine at your local Jam Mart, Harps, and other fine establishments. Cheerwine, uniquely Southern since 1917.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those. 107 down. This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
Everybody, Woo Big Philly.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
You know, what I really enjoy the most is the meeting room with the quarterbacks, because when we're in that meeting room, the time goes by like that, and you're out on the practice field, and that's a good group in there. They're good young men and very, very motivated and very dedicated. They put a lot of time in themselves without me in there, particularly with this new gadget that they got.
I've heard John Gruden, Tommy, say something similar, how much he loves those quarterback meeting rooms. Tyler Wilson has talked about it as the co-host of the Morning Rush, how much Bobby Petrino enjoyed those sessions, and he kind of got a smile on his face yesterday. Tom was joking with him, and it was like, hey, you like taking these questions?
Right up there, number one.
Number one, likes to enjoy it. But you could tell he really does enjoy his time with Taylon Green, KJ Jackson, Trevor Jackson, and Grayson Wilson, and the rest of those guys.
Yeah, and I think he enjoys, the limited media responsibilities he has now. I think it grinds on a coach to have to do it, on a daily basis or a week, multiple times a week basis, plus your coaches shows, plus all those things that come along with being the head coach. But I think, the handful of times a year he does a media session, you learn a lot. It's not always the most riveting performance that you'll see in a press conference, but it's usually pretty juicy. I thought the one a week or so ago was better because he went through the roster a little more, but I thought this was some good insight, and I think he likes the fact that, hey, I only got to do a few of these a year.
Yeah, there's probably some truth to that. Sam Pittman live back tonight, Tommy. I didn't know this until you were telling me this morning. They've already announced his two players that are coming with Devin Bale, who's an All-SEC punter, and then Kobe Branham. Are going to be with Coach Pittman tonight.
Yeah, and first time to get your hush puppies and your fried catfish, and get out there tonight to the catfish hole for that. So it's a sign of things cranking up, and Chuck and Coach and those two players will be there tonight. I'm interested to hear what Kobe Branham's got to say coming off the surgery he had in the offseason. Devin Bell's going to be a big part of special teams, so I think they'll have a good crowd there tonight for the first coaches show.
Last but not least, your favorite, another watch list. Taylon Green's been named to the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award watch list. Tommy, how many quarterbacks are on this list?
Too many.
58. 58. Another watch
What
list.
an honor.
Tommy's
what
favorite
an honor.
on a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
You're one of 58 on a watch list.
Hey,
what an honor.
Wait, listen, we talked about this. We're one of 58 of the top mid-market, midday morning shows in the country. So, like Taylon, we're prestigious.
Yeah.
That's your Hog Update. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
Speaking of prestigious and glorious, Brian in Ozark has called in. I know that's what he thinks about his Texas Longhorns.
I heard he's going to get his tail whipped, is what I heard this morning. So,
I think you heard wrong.
Well, that's what I know. What I heard Bo say, and he said if you lose, you're going to have to come up there and get a tail whooping. How big an old boy are you?
You also heard him say that he wasn't able to do it. It wouldn't be him to be by committee.
It would still be your tail getting whooped, though.
Yeah. Good luck.
I think he's going to bring Ty in to do the ass whoopings. So that's really one of Ty's duties. Ty's in charge of ass whoopings. So
right. Anyways,
he's like the dean of students.
Let's talk about something for real. I kind of heard you say that something.
Are you? Hey, wait. Are you saying Bo Manley couldn't whoop your butt? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying Bo probably couldn't beat his way out of a wet paper bag.
Wow. Well, I don't know. He goes to CrossFit. He's been working out. He's been doing them push-ups.
We'll see. Yeah. I'm shaking him up boots now.
He's kind of wiry,
Yeah. So, Ty, I heard you say a while ago that, Arkansas kind of at a disadvantage in the recruiting battle, and in a sense they are. But, I've been saying this for 4 or 5 years now, and it's been proven in your basketball program. When Coach Cal came to Arkansas, all your top basketball players in the country want to play for Cal. It's not that they want to play for Arkansas. They want to play for Cal to get to the next level. That's the same thing with football. When they're begging money for Edge and all these NIL things, they can't fill the stadium because they don't have the right coach. You get a coach, the players will come from all over the country. They haven't done that since Bobby Petrino was head coach. And everybody wanted to play for Petrino when he was there. My thing that I'm getting at is, as long as Arkansas is 6-6 every year, they're not going to do anything. They can't right now. They can't even get the top players in the state. And I heard Kane Archer mention that as well. He wanted to go to a school that was going to a top bowl game. And
so he went to UCF? Wait a minute.
He had a better shot.
Whoa. So he wanted to go to a school that's going to top, because that's what Central Florida's doing. He's going to all the top bowl games.
Okay, no, UCF is on the rise up, and UCF has a better shot to play in the Big 12 championship to get to the playoffs.
True. That's true. Yep. Don't disagree.
That's not why he went to UCF.
Brian, I'll say this, and I put your ear to the phone. I agree with you on the in-state stuff. I've said it forever. The kids these days, and appreciate your call, the kids these days don't have anything the last few years to look at and say, man, I really want to go to Arkansas. Like, you've got one game a year you can point to and say that potentially could get it. I can name 15 games back in the day that made me want to go to Fayetteville. I didn't even play football, but it's because of those football wins in games that got me to Fayetteville. So you're not wrong on that. Hopefully that changes. I don't know if it will.
Well, that's not why you lost Archer. He's at least committed. You know, that's where he's at. Hey, if you haven't downloaded the Bet Saracen app, we're going to talk more about it. All the odds. I mean, you even got football this weekend you can find with real lines and real games. Use the promo code WELCOME if you're signing up for the first time for free bets once you place your first one with Bet Saracen, Arkansas's #1 sports betting app.
Morning Rush Daily Question when we come back.
I was talking about Richard's Meat Market because that's my spot. And, of course, Richard and Chris have been around forever.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
My face would eat that.
Protect what matters most with the Fence Man. From heavy-duty security fencing to powered automatic gates, the Fence Man's got Fort Smith covered. The Fence Man has served the Fort Smith area for over 40 years. Custom built and built to last. Free quotes, financing for 18 months. When it comes to security fencing, nobody builds it better than the Fence Man. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother. They're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more. Beef, It's What's for Dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers. Courtesy of beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, It's What's for Dinner.
Dangerous back pass. Picked up.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey everyone, David Rath here with Rath Auto Resources. Our state sales tax paid offer was a big hit. Frankly, we've been too busy selling cars to come up with an inspired replacement. So in my stereotypical artistic procrastination, I just gave up and decided to extend the sale through Labor Day. Just bring in your old ride and get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day weekend. Probably. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
If the 25th is the silver anniversary and the 50th is gold, what's the 75th? Well, that's the fresh beef, onions, pickles, lettuce, tomatoes, fries, and drink anniversary. Everybody knows that. Get the #1 water meal for $7.50 in honor of our 75th anniversary. A meal like that is the way you're supposed to celebrate a 75th. The Whataburger 75th meal deal. Whataburger, what a deal. For a limited time at participating locations.
Freshen up your golf game at the Golf Nut. We've got the latest apparel and head covers from Pins and Aces, plus new shirts and shorts from Red Vanley. Ghost golf bags are here in Sunday bag, carry, and card 14 styles. Zero torque putters are the hottest thing on the greens. Check out our models from TaylorMade, Lab Golf, and Odyssey. For precision on every shot, we've got rangefinders from Blue Tees and Bushnell. Visit the Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has wrecked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Avoid the door knockers and storm chasers. We are local and we will be here long after the storm chasers are gone.
Check out PatriotBrothersRoofing.com or call 479-652-9479.
Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
Do you love cooking and being a part of a great team? Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and I was talking to Linda Newmeyer the other day. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, Newmeyer's Rib Room, and Newmeyer's Whippoorwill are hiring kitchen staff. Stop by any of the 3 restaurants in downtown Fort Smith. I used to work at a pizza place back in the day. Maybe I give it a shot. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the Whippoorwill, and Rib Room. Apply today and join the Newmeyer family.
You're hired. Come back tomorrow at noon for training.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at CarpathSocial.com.
So what's the bigger overarching issue for Arkansas's football program? Year in, year out, in today's current system. Guys, is it NIL and the lack of funds and rev share that you hope levelizes the playing field? Or is it the schedule every year? What is keeping Arkansas from moving up a plateau, moving up a level? And I'm not talking about 10 or 11 wins, but where we're not sitting here talking about, Brian and Ozark calling in earlier, 5 wins at best, where that's not even part of the equation. What is one or two things holding Arkansas back?
I think it's the NIL.
Schedule or NIL? Which is the bigger issue?
It's NIL. You played an SEC schedule before. I know Texas and Oklahoma have been added to it, as has Missouri and Texas A&M. But and I know since 2012 you haven't had success for the most part, but I would say it's NIL. The way that college football and college sports are constructed nowadays, if Arkansas was ever going to get to a not just competitive but maybe higher point of that playing field, then I think that the schedule, though it would cause some rub and cause some issues, I would still say it's the NIL.
Well, there's no easy SEC schedules, right? Now, there's some easier than others based on where you got to go. And,
Missouri.
Games, back-to-back games on the road against ranked opponents. I mean, but there's no easy schedules, right? We can agree on that. Mm-hmm. There's no easy SEC schedules. But Arkansas certainly hasn't been given the benefit of an edge, I would say, in the scheduling. You're not going to ever have enough in-state players that I would say are, first and second round draft guys in the NFL, right? There's not a Burks that's coming along every year. There's not enough 5-star talent. It's not like basketball. So you got to have the NIL funds to be able to go somewhere, and probably in today's world into the portal, which they're talking about limiting how much portal access players are going to have moving forward. So I don't know how that's going to work. So it's going to come back to recruiting again. But I agree with you, Ty. I think the bigger issue is the funding, because you're going to have to go out of state. You're going to have to go pluck a player off a roster of another SEC school, like schools have, like Ole Miss has done to you. So yeah, I agree, but the two issues go hand in hand, because even if you had $5 million more to fund a roster this year, you still got Notre Dame to play. You still got a road game in Memphis. That's just your non-con, plus a murderer's row of SEC games as well. So that SEC slate, 8 or 9 games perhaps moving forward, is always going to be there, but you need to be more equipped somewhere, somehow, down the road to be able to fight fire with fire. And while these players have talent, I just don't think there's enough depth past the starters to compete with most SEC schools.
That's the thing for me. How can we say that NIL is the big thing that's holding us back, that's sitting here handcuffing us, when we've been wandering in the wilderness for 40 years before that, when it was still the same thing? I think that you mentioned it, Tommy, right there. It's your state's population. It's your state's demographics, the type of players that you are able to recruit. That's a bigger issue than a lot of people want to dive into. And I know that that's sort of the finite details of everything. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the players on your team to make the depth, if you can't get a talented enough guy from within 100 miles of your school, where your schools are located, you're never going to be good enough. And we know you're playing the tough schedule. We know that you're not going to have all this extra outpouring of NIL donations and money coming into your program unless you win. But to say that NIL is the whole thing that's handcuffing this program right now, that can't be the only thing, and it can't be the biggest thing. The biggest thing is that you have to get better players. Obviously, now that comes with paying them the money. Well, if money is equitable now, then they should all be on the same playing field. So how do you get those better players? How do you get the guys that Brian gets to watch every week on your team? Going to be a hard uphill battle when you're in a state with a very small population, and a lot of those players rather play basketball.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tommy.
I'm just, a lot of people want to talk and look at Sam Pittman and, hey, if we could only change coaches, there's a small percentage of the fan base. But I just think if you bring in another coach with these same issues, you're going to be talking about the same thing in a year or two again. That's my point. All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It's brought to you by CartPath Social.
Full call sheet. We'll get to the Lewis Automotive Group hotline in just a sec. Before we do that, CartPath Social, is Tommy saying, #1 indoor golf destination in all of Arkansas. Christian Olson, Nate Garehand, two of my buddies from the U of A that have put together this incredible place to hang out, whether it's birthday parties, it could be a team building exercise, maybe just a place to take a long lunch. They've got TVs everywhere. College football begins this weekend. NFL begins here shortly. Take advantage of your weekends at CartPath Social. It's always BYOB at CartPath Social. More information, cartpathsocial.com. Let's go first to Rod, who's on I-40. He's been patiently waiting on this. Rod, to Tommy's question, what do you think is prohibiting Arkansas from taking that next step? Is it NIL or is it schedule? All right, let's try Chris in Fort Smith. Chris, what do you think?
Hey, guys. Good morning. I tend to agree with you that it's not the NIL, and I feel like there's a lot of people that are looking at it. The grass isn't always greener on that other side. You don't want to be at Texas Tech that their entire program is riding on this year being a success. I think there's a lot to, Sam Pittman. Everybody loves him. Players rally to him. The players enjoy playing for him. And I feel like there's a lot to hometown guys stepping up, progressing, getting better over the years, and finding success through that as far as going to buy a roster.
Are there enough hometown guys, though? Are there enough in-state players to compete in today's SEC?
I feel like there are, and it's maybe not to plug and play them, but to develop them, get them stronger, get them faster. Yes, 100%.
And when you do develop a player, you do get one in and you do bring them along. It seems like they get plucked and they're elsewhere because of why? Someone else offers more money.
Well, there's a couple other factors along with that. You could have more playing time at a different school. KJ Jefferson went to UCF. There's different factors to it than just the money aspect of it, I think.
All right. Good call. Appreciate it. If they limit the transfers, and now this will cut both ways, but it will make you go back to evaluating a little bit stronger, a little bit different. if they limit how many times you can transfer without sitting a year, players won't have the option to just look for the next highest bidder for their sophomore season, then do the same thing again for their junior season, and then the same thing again for their senior season. That's where we've got to get to also level this playing field. Sam Pittman talked about that earlier this week in leveling the playing field by rev share and the way this goes. You've also got to take the bidding process out of that, and that's by limiting or closing the gate to some degree on the transfer portal itself.
William's in Lafayette, Louisiana on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. William, go ahead.
Good morning, gentlemen. How y'all doing today?
No complaints, even though it is a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
So, y'all have a good topic going today. It's a great conversation. Thank y'all for letting me join. I want to remove Sam Pittman from the equation. I want to talk about Arkansas football. Now, you mentioned 40 years. Someone mentioned 40 years we've been in. And, Tommy, you talked about riding up 49 months, right?
Yeah.
Everyone says if you take and draw a circle 4 hours around your campus, that should be your recruitment. And if you look at 4 hours, what that reaches out to, it's pretty sparse as far as talent. Consistent talent you need to compete with where the other teams are sourcing. Something I've always been curious about. I'm not going to say frustrated, but curious about. And I'm challenging you guys to do. Expand that out an hour and a half, 5.5 hours. Dallas, Shreveport, Longview, Carthage, all down I-20. I think Monroe's 5 hours and 45. So, Memphis, all right, Kansas City, 3 hours and 43 minutes, something like that. I don't know if we're smart about our recruitment. I don't know if we push the boundaries and touch that fringe and go out there and go to war in the living room. All right? Because if you're going to win on the field, you got to win in the living room. And so is our field about an extra hour and a half, right, focusing on Kansas City? I mean, just do it. Instead of doing 4 hours, do 5.5 hours. Okay? Now, I live in Lafayette. I don't know if y'all have ever been to Lafayette, but I-49 runs right through Lafayette. I ride it all the way up the street. Get on it, ride it to Texarkana. I'm not trying to get political, but what would that do in regards to reducing that circumference? All right? If that was completed from Texarkana up to Fayetteville. All right?
No, that's a great point.
We need to think outside of the box. All right? And look, this is not a shot at Sam. This has been every coach that's been there, right? Danny Ford went down and touched North Louisiana. Houston Nutt did it in his early years. Ignored Mississippi. Ford went to Mississippi. We ignored Mississippi for years. Why? Oh, we didn't want to play the game. We got to play them on Saturday. We better play the game in the living room. If we're going to have to play them some guns on Saturday because they're playing it in the living room, we need to play it in the living room. I mean going in there and recruiting in the home. And that's what I think has held Arkansas back. Okay? But, guys, I'm going to let somebody else call in. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. Thank y'all for the platform for the topic. It's big football season. I'm glad to be back with y'all. And go Hogs. Thank y'all very much.
Go ahead,
Appreciate the call. Lewis Automotive Group hotline open for more calls. We'll get to those in the next hour. I hadn't thought about the I-49, and they're actually having a groundbreaking for the bridge that crosses at Barling, not far from one of our studio locations. Now, we've got years to go before that even connects to Alma.
2029.
And, yeah, but the connection from there, from South Fort Smith to Texarkana, I mean, I don't know that any of us will see it in our lifetimes complete. But the point is valid that, hey, you want to open up a pipeline a little more, make a better roadway for fans, for players, for parents, for a lot of reasons why Northwest Arkansas becomes quicker and more accessible. I hadn't thought about it in those terms, and there's nothing Sam Pittman or the university can do to probably speed that up. Brought to you by Farm Credit of Western Arkansas, 25 locations to take care of you. If you're going to spruce up your existing home or do a complete remodel or maybe build a brand new one from ground up, they have all the financing options that work best for you and your family. Go to myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com for farm credit of Western Arkansas. It is a What's Your Beef Wednesday. It's brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. Ty, we're getting ready for tailgating season 2. Everything you need to go on the grill 10 days from now is there. Maybe do a test run this weekend with the games that are on TV. 479-443-0000 for Richard's Country Meat Market.
William, we can ask Richard Davenport some of the stuff you were asking us as we get going here in hour 2. Like Tommy said, it's a What's Your Beef Wednesday. If you have some beefs, get them in. Hour 2 of the Morning Rush is next.
Protect what matters most with the Fence Man. From heavy-duty security fencing to powered automatic gates, the Fence Man's got Fort Smith covered. The Fence Man has served the Fort Smith area for over 40 years. Custom built and built to last. Free quotes, financing for 18 months. When it comes to security fencing, nobody builds it better than the Fence Man. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother. They're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more. Beef. It's What's for Dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers. Courtesy of beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef. It's What's for Dinner.
Take advantage of this nice weather in Arkansas with our friends at Roback. Gear up for fresh polos, running joggers, and comfortable khaki shorts. Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas licensed collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. So if you're ready to upgrade your comfort game, use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order through the end of this week. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with code RUSH25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey everyone, David Rath here with Rath Auto Resources. Our state sales tax paid offer was a big hit. Frankly, we've been too busy selling cars to come up with an inspired replacement. So in my stereotypical artistic procrastination, I just gave up and decided to extend the sale through Labor Day. Just bring in your old ride and get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day weekend. Probably. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Hardee's invites you to fill your days with a little more handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch biscuits, baked fresh every 15 minutes. Crispy chicken tenders made with hand-breaded care. 100% Angus beef patties, freshly charbroiled, built to order. And warm smiles every day, from sunrise to supper time. Because at Hardee's, there's always goodness in the making. Exclusions may apply by time of day.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Summer is finally here, and so are the road trips that you've had planned. That's why it's time to visit us at Southern Tire Mart. Southern Tire Mart's expert service, competitive pricing, and top quality tires will ensure your vehicle is ready for all your summer adventures. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is prepared for the summer. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart. We keep America rolling.
Contractors, you've got jobs to win and customers to impress. That's why you choose Luxair HVAC systems, built for performance, efficiency, and reliability. And at J&B Supply, we've had your back since 1968. We're a local family-owned distributor that treats our customers like family too, with the products, expertise, and service you need to get the job done right. For over 50 years, HVAC and plumbing pros have trusted J&B Supply in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville. J&B Supply, where the professionals go. Doe's Eat Place has been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years, and now they're offering smoked prime rib on the weekends. It's a limited supply, so get your reservations in early. Try one of their delicious appetizers or your choice of drinks from the area's largest selection of wine, beer, and liquor. Doe's Eat Place open Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Follow them on Facebook for more upcoming features and events. Call 479-784-9111 for Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street in Fort Smith.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. There is a chance of seeing a few isolated showers or storms today. A high this afternoon into the low to mid 90s. Mainly clear. Overnight lows will drop down into the upper 60s north. We're looking at low 70s with a few scattered showers or storms further south. And then Thursday, sunshine, upper 80s to low 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 10 days.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
I don't know what the guys who never played it down predicted us, and all that kind of stuff. But I know that we've got a really good freshman class, that we do. Hence, if you don't want to rank us, that's fine. Don't you have to play all of them anyway? Roll that thing out there and let's see what happens. That's fine. We don't need to be ranked. If you don't want to rank it, we surprise a lot of people. We ain't surprising me. We've got a really good football team. We really, really do, and we're excited to get out there and play.
The upcoming game against Alabama A&M won't tell us anything good about this football team. It will tell us something bad, i.e. Western Carolina 28-6 when you couldn't run the football. What was it, 2 years ago? Like, that told you from the jump, if you dominate this team in 11 days, it doesn't matter. It is irrelevant.
I agree. I mean, if you won 70-0, didn't tell us anything either last year.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
We've got plenty of calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline in hour number 1 of the Morning Rush, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market. This is kind of a small, minuscule beef as we get going in hour number 2. If you go to the War Memorial website, Tommy, and you pull up the upcoming game, we're 10 days out from the opener in Fayetteville, 17 days out for the game at War Memorial. Any idea what former Razorback is on there as a picture?
I would like to think Darren McFadden, but I'm going to guess there's a different answer.
That would make sense. Like, you're promoting great
Where's he
times.
from? What's his hometown?
Oak Grove High School. That would permit.
Right there in
Instead,
Little Rock,
and again, this is this is just me grasping at straws, because I love this kid when he was here. Then he transferred to a rival school. Chris Paul is on the front page of the website. I like his dad. I like Chris when he was here, but that hurt me when he transferred. And I get it. He went to a better school. He ended up being a part of a team that I think won 10-plus games that fall. But, that's just, to me, you're trying to sell out this game, and not that would prohibit people from getting tickets or deciding, well, I'm not going to this game now because Chris Paul is on the front page. But, guys, just look at the website. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Touching it.
Yeah, I would think, and listen, I was complaining about technology in hour number 1, but I would think there's probably, 100 different other players you could pick outside of Chris Paul to promote this upcoming game against Arkansas State.
Probably so. What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market, 479-443-0000 to place your order, richardscountrymeatmarket.com, or see them at 3042 North Market Avenue in Fayetteville. Everything you need for your first tailgate is at Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville.
Well, this guy, we might have to pull a beef out of him because I was texting him this morning as we welcome in Richard Davenport, Whole Hog Sports, and the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Tommy, he was on a walk with his dog. He showed me a pretty picture. Richard, I think it's safe to say you're in a good mood right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I got my walk done. Yeah, I enjoy the walk, but I also
Who walked who?
enjoy it.
Did you walk the dog or did the dog walk you?
We kind of walk each other. Sometimes he's beside me. Sometimes he gets ahead of me, and sometimes he's behind me, and I have to kind of get him up to speed. But Ruben's 13, so he gets a pass.
Speaking of walking dogs, I remember a phrase. We played North Little Rock when I was I guess that was in 8th or 9th grade, probably in 8th grade. And after the game, they beat us by like 60 in basketball. And after the game, we're shaking hands, and I heard one of the guys go, "Hey, we just dog walked those guys." And I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty much what happened in that game that day." RD, so this upcoming game against Alabama A&M, we were talking about it a little bit yesterday. I don't know if you're necessarily going to learn a lot, but one of the things I heard Petrino hit on yesterday is, and he was saying it in the politest, like about execution and stuff. Like they want to execute so they can get guys on the field. He wants to see KJ. He wants to see Trevor. He wants to see Grayson at the quarterback position, and then some other offensive linemen, other skill positions. How important is it for them to just get off to a fast start next Saturday, so in order they can play a bunch of guys?
Well, I think that obviously very, very important, not only for the team, but also the psyche of the fan base. Obviously, they got to dominate and win pretty easily. If they do that, it doesn't create much doubt. A good portion of the fan base is, kind of optimistic about the season, especially after what Coach Pittman has said, the Little Rock Touchdown Club, and that there's a good segment also that's, pretty pessimistic. So you don't want to add to the negative vibes that some people have about the team by coming out and struggling. But anytime you can get more guys on the field and get more playing experiences, that obviously helps you down the road. And if they play well, and then they continue to play well when they do get in, you improve your depth.
Yeah, and when you're looking at looking at the press conferences, listening to the words they're saying, I think it's interesting where they're happy with their depth right now, Richard, and where there's some position battles going on. Bobby Petrino talked about that right tackle spot. He talked about his tight ends. I think that's also interesting when you tie back the recruiting conversation, the transfer portal later this year, the transfer portal last year, and kind of see how they go about solving these issues. Defensive line's a real concern right now. You can't do anything about it now in the portal of this year, but I'm interested as you go back and look at what they did and maybe how they address that coming up in December.
Yeah, 2021, when Cam Ball signed, obviously he's a rarity in college football nowadays, a fifth-year senior, still hanging around and obviously contributing. But Deke Adams came on in 2022, and they've recruited pretty good in the high school ranks, but really didn't get their numbers up until last year. As far as they signed 5 from the high school ranks, and then obviously signed some guys from the portal. But it's all about retaining, and your high school kids, and then adding here or there from the portal. I'm fairly optimistic about the defensive line. I know Oki's going to miss a game or two, but that gives some other guys an opportunity to get in there. Maybe Kevin Otis is a freshman who I'll be writing about fairly soon, who was a 4-star prospect by 2 of the recruiting services. He's from Hattiesburg, and he's a guy that I think has a chance to get into the rotation. Probably will be in the rotation for sure. Probably come in the first game, but I think he's a guy that could long term this season give you some snaps, good quality snaps, and I wouldn't rule out Caleb Bell too. He's a guy that that was, had a late offer from Texas, and his dad played in the NFL. He's a freshman along with Reginald Vaughn. Reginald Vaughn's the guy that, well, I think we've talked about. I just remember seeing him when he made his decision to be a Razorback. He was around 280, and I saw him at one of the Arkansas camps, just observing, and man, he looked good. He's up to 300 pounds. His upper body, he's just totally changed his body. Now, of course, he's still a freshman, but he's added that weight, and maybe he may be a guy that can come on and give you some snaps too. So anytime you have a guy go down, you just hope others fill that gap and they're successful and continue to progress. And if they do, maybe the perception of the lack of depth kind of goes away as the season progresses.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tommy.
No, I just think I think that is one place where you look around the SEC and the most successful defensive lines have 6, 7, 8 guys that they feel good about rolling through there, and I think Arkansas is at 3 or 4 right now. And that will that expose itself as a weakness that other teams will take advantage of? I guess we'll find out. Maybe starting with Ole Miss and Memphis and that Notre Dame stretch.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, and it may very well be that as far as a weakness at the defensive tackle position. But I'm kind of optimistic. We'll see.
Talking with Richard Davenport, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Richard, we heard from Bobby Petrino yesterday. He talked quarterbacks, but he also touched on some wide receivers. C.J. Brown, Bentonville kid, comes in, plays a little bit as a freshman, had a quality bowl game. Petrino said last year and this year, like, he knows the playbook just as much, if not as better than anyone. I know we kind of know that Omega Blake and Raylan Sharp are going to be starters. I mean, how close is he to be not just a starter, but a consistent wide receiver for them this fall?
Well, anybody's talked to CJ knows he's a very sharp young man, very mature. You get a kid that has the smarts and maturity like CJ. Usually, you're going to know the playbook. You're going to know your assignments and what you need to do. Then you throw in his physical talent. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was kind of surprised. I knew he had good speed at Bentonville, but it seemed like when he got to Arkansas, that speed went up a notch, and he is very good speed. He's got good size, not great size, but good size. The combination of smarts and maturity and his athleticism, I think he's going to be pretty successful. And he got snaps last year as a true freshman in some pretty important situations. One, obviously against Texas, one play wasn't so good, but I think he's going to have a chance to be one of those guys, one of the top 4 receivers.
I think
when it's all said and done.
I look at like the bowl game when these young freshmen like CJ or other guys, Kobe Branham, didn't necessarily have a chance to play a bunch in the season. They finally get a chance because guys opt out, guys are injured, whatever the case may be, and that really propels them in the next season. I think CJ had 3 catches, 51 yards in that bowl game last year. I mean, is there anyone else maybe from the Liberty Bowl that stood out that you felt like, man, that's really going to help them. That's going to help propel them into 2025?
Well, that's a good question because it's such a turnover in on the roster at the receiver position. Off the top of my head, no. I mean, obviously, Monty Harrison has really been showing out in recent practices and scrimmages. So I kind of figured that he would at some point. And last year was definitely a transition year just because he was going from professional baseball to football for the first time in 10 years. So it's good to see him. And he's provided a lot of good leadership, which I knew that he would this year. Last year he kind of set back and kind of, was a first-year guy and didn't want to make too much noise, but he's definitely leading this year. And I think that's when you got a guy that's obviously, as old as he is and has a lot more life experiences and maturity, that I think that's a good thing.
Richard, I think that's important to mention because I was reading one of your colleagues, and I'm forgetting if it was Ethan or Tom, but guy hadn't played since Lee Summit in high school. Like, he had not played football since, as you just addressed, 10 plus years ago. So it was a complete adjustment. Not only are you transitioning from baseball to football, you're going to the toughest conference in the country, playing a position where cornerbacks aren't exactly 5'6", 140. I mean, they're pretty physical and strong, so maybe there is something there. I mean, he's apparently been killing it in these scrimmages and practices. He's got a connection with KJ, had a long touchdown with Talon in this scrimmage on Saturday, so maybe we could see more from him this year, like you're alluding to.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a bigger guy. He looks like a tight end out there, but he's definitely showing he's gotten the rust off, and he just feels more comfortable. And plus, let's face it, yeah, he reported last summer and went through workouts and everything, but workouts, through last summer into the off season and spring, and now this summer. I'm sure his body's changed and kind of gotten used to football versus baseball. Two different sports. But you saw some highlights in baseball that were kind of like wow moments. How he just kind of climbed up a fence to make a catch a couple of times. So the talent's always kind of been there. You just had to wait until a little bit more experience and get his football, body in shape, and then obviously kind of get the cobwebs out of his game.
We got one last weekend without Arkansas football. You got a few games going on this weekend. Are you making an appointment to watch, Kansas State, Iowa State, and a handful of other games, or is this one final weekend before the deluge of work begins? How does RD handle this upcoming weekend?
Well, RD already looked at the schedule. I saw that. That was an 11 o'clock game, and then I think you got Fresno State at Kansas, and then Hawaii and somebody else. I forgot who it is at 8 o'clock that night. So
Stanford.
Is it? Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Stanford at Hawaii, I believe it is. So.
Yeah, hey. If you're a football junkie, which I am, from 11 a.m. to about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, depending on how late some of those West Coast games last. I mean, that's what you look forward to, and some of those late night games are just in crazy games, and it just kind of rewards you for staying up that late to watch, and it's just hey, you get excited. I get excited for that first weekend, and even though it's not a blockbuster lineup or anything, it's still college football.
It's not the entree, but it's the apps, and we'll take it nevertheless. Richard, good stuff as always, man. We'll chat next week, and we'll finally be closer to Arkansas football in single-digit days when you join us.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys.
All right, Richard Davin, we're talking about entrees and appetizers and food. I got good news for you, Ty. Smoked brisket queso is back at Arts Barbecue for football season.
Bang.
They are rolling this out where they take homemade queso that they make in-house. They take their brisket that they smoke, they chop it up, they put it in the cheese dip, and it is just a flavor explosion. And you can get smoked brisket queso at Arts. You can go there and enjoy it while watching games, having a cold beer. Saturdays, they do $1 off burgers. Or you can call ahead and they can get you a quart, a pint, a half pan of it. If you want one of them aluminum pans to take home to watch football with your friends, they could fix you up with whatever you need at Arts Barbecue. 452-2550. They also have the new Sloppy Pig Burger, and that's going to be debuting for football season. They're going to take their ham-patty burger, they're going to pile it up with their pulled pork, and then they're just going to smother it. They're going to serve it open face. So you'll need a knife and a fork to eat this baby. But burger, pulled pork, and then just smother it in that brisket queso. That smoked brisket queso.
Man.
That sounds delicious. You can get their fries with that. Maybe get some of that cheese dip on that fries, So you can try it all out. Smoked brisket queso. I can't wait. It's back at Arts Barbecue, Rogers Avenue, 2 doors east of Lowe's in Fort Smith.
All right, Adam is in Fayetteville here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Been patiently waiting to get his beef in. Adam, what's up, man?
All right. My beef today is with the University of Arkansas parking. I am sure I'm not the only one who has this problem, but I've been going to this school for like 2 years now. This is my third. I've had to miss 2 classes because the parking I've spent way too much money on is completely full. They justify it by saying we oversell our parking spots because not everyone is going to be on campus at the same time. Well, everyone has classes at like 10 to noon. So I just see the same 6 cars going around looking for the same spots I am, and it's just a mess. And building off of that, this place was founded as a land-grant university to serve Arkansas, but all I'm seeing are Texans. It just doesn't make sense to me. I thought this place was supposed to serve Arkansans, but no. All the Texans are taking up all the housing, all the parking. They're fine people. I love them, but that's just not what this university was for. Anyway, I don't want to waste too much of y'all's time. Appreciate y'all taking my call today.
You're not wasting anyone's time,
No.
Adam. I can tell you, as someone that had to deal with the same thing, if you're still listening, again, I said this last week, the best investment you will ever make in a college student at the U of A is getting yourself a scooter. Better parking, get there closer. It was $60. I don't know what the parking pass is now. But Tommy, that's it. I mean, that's an issue sometimes on game days. I know football hasn't always been packed out, so you can usually find a parking spot. But I know that sometimes they oversell parking, and you're kind of.
I got my parking pass for football the other day with our season tickets.
Yeah,
it's been moved, and so I don't know what's going on. I mean, we upped our donation, we spent more money, we got worse parking. I mean, it's just it's unbelievable. But what would you pay if you were a student? What would you pay or have your daddy pay for a reserved parking spot on that campus? What would a reserved parking spot be worth?
Those red spots, Tommy, are absurd. Plus, like Harmon and Garland, those parking spots.
Oh, so they do have
garages.
some?
Yeah, they're outrageously priced. Like the green lots, and I know they've kind of changed the design since I was in school, but they used to have the green lots where it was more open. The reserve cost even more. But now, again, enrollment has skyrocketed, which is it's good. Like
because all them Texans are coming.
Yeah,
in here.
but that's the I think an issue that not just Adam has, but a lot of people have.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak it like. Listen, I'm probably 75% of my friends from the U of A are Texas kids, and I don't want to speak ill will of that, but it does get kind of annoying when you drive everywhere and 75% of license plates are from Texas. It's quite annoying. So I get it where Adam's standing, but parking's bad, man. It is hopefully
especially early in the year.
Yes.
Till people start dropping classes here in about 3 more weeks. It is brutal when they realize, hey, I'm in over my head in this class. I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna withdraw before I mean, what was it? You withdraw passing or withdraw failing or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever. You don't get the
one counts and one doesn't, but you don't get any of your money back. So
that was the word. That was the. Yeah. I think I don't know if I ever had. Did you have to drop a class at West Ark back in the day?
No, I don't think I couldn't afford to drop them.
Yeah,
so I had to make it work.
My dad goes. I remember my dad specifically saying this a couple of weeks before getting to Fayetteville. It's like, you drop a class, you pay for it. I said, all right, well, I got to keep this. I got to keep this old GPA up.
So back in the day, they used to mail your report card home. All right, from college. My uncle was going up in Fayetteville, and he had a class.
Richard?
Yeah, he had a class he had withdrawn from, so it just registered WD. And my grandmother, his mom, said, "What's this WD stand for? I understand these other letters. What's WD?" He said, "That's for wonderful." It stands for wonderful. I did wonderful, Mom.
Well, listen, it's not about the grades you make. It's about the hands you shake. He owns his own business. I think that withdrawn class from
it's all worked
40,
out.
60 years ago, no one really gives a rat's you know
60?
what. How old is he?
62 or 3.
Okay, so first guess, 40 years ago, give or take a few years.
So. Hey, Labor Day's coming up. Not all of us going to get to go for a beach vacation like Ty. Some of us just got to wait for our Labor Day and maybe go to the lake for a few hours. Maybe a pool party, watching football. That's going to be a big part of my Labor Day weekend. Backyard barbecues, whatever you got going. Think before you drink. This message brought to you by the Arkansas State Police. Labor Day's become a deadly weekend in our state. Roadways are packed, people going to games, people moving around, and it's illegal to drive with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or higher. If you do, the consequences are severe. Your license goes away. You go to jail. You have to spend a few days in jail in most places. You'll pay the court cost, attorney's fees. I mean, it's tens of thousands of dollars. Then you got to go pay to get an ignition interlock system put on your car. It's a real pain in the butt, and it's expensive. And it's all because you made a poor decision. So think before you drink, drive sober, or get pulled over this holiday weekend that's coming up. This message brought to you by the Arkansas State Police. And based on what I saw driving I-49 this morning, they're already out looking for you. So be careful out there.
SEC update when we come back. Tommy Tuberville had something to say about Auburn's new national championship that they just declared. So we'll get into that on a What's Your Beef Wednesday next.
He's talking about Richard's Meat Market because that's my spot. And, of course, Richard and Chris have been around forever.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
My beef with you,
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could beat lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Like there's a few times KJ drops back and he's looking in the stands at the blonde on row 3.
This is the Morning Rush.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You've heard the phrase, all hat, no cattle. Well, Whataburger's new Bacon Wrangler Double is anything but. It's got beef that's never from the freezer, always hot off the grill. Monterey Jack and American cheese, bacon, crispy onions, chipotle aioli, and pickles. You might even say it's all cattle and a hat. A 5-inch bun hat, cowboy. Introducing the new Whataburger Bacon Wrangler Double for a limited time. What a burger.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richard's paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, The Paint Store, Van Buren.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Around here, we don't just know your name. We know your dad's favorite truck and your kid's baseball team. That's how it is when you've been in the same town for 90 years. At Hug Chevrolet GMC, we believe in handshakes, hometown service, and treating you like family. Because you're not just a customer, you're a neighbor. Hug Chevrolet GMC. The people, the place, the pride.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion. You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about to be tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally it's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Tommy Tuberville here to celebrate the great news that we've been waiting for 21 years. I want to congratulate the 2004 Auburn Tigers football team on being recognized as the true national champions of college football of 2004. There is no doubt that the 2004 Auburn team was the best team in the country for the entire season.
So what do we think about that? If you missed it yesterday, the Auburn Tigers have declared a few more national championships. They are citing the AP poll, now saying that the 1910, the 1914, the 1958, and 2004 teams is it, and I think there's one more on that as well. Was it 93 maybe? With because that was Charlie Ward's Florida State team that ended up winning the whole thing. That 2004 Auburn team, I think Jason Campbell was their quarterback, was really, really good. Undefeated in the Southeastern Conference and didn't get a chance to play USC. Oklahoma got slashed, I think 55-19 in that national championship game. What do we think about this, Tommy, all years later? Tommy, you, not Tommy.
Well, I mean, they're just catching up with Alabama, who's claimed a bunch of titles, including 64 that doesn't really exist. So, I mean, they're doing what you do in Alabama. You just claim titles whether you earned them or not.
Okay.
And I agree with the 04 part. I think they got the shaft on that deal under the circumstances at that time. But, you know, that's one of the things we had to go through to get to where we're at with the playoff today. But in the end, I mean, going back and claiming a national championship from a team that was over 100 years ago, what are we doing here?
Could have started the SEC dynasty early if they would have been given the opportunity, because 2006 Florida beat Ohio State, and that started the run of SEC champions, but guess we'll never know. And I think I got to go back and look. I want to say Auburn might have played USC the year before or something. I need to go back and double check that. So I guess to tie this, let's tie this back to Fayetteville. I know there's been debate, like the 64 one. That's the football one for us. Can't you, like, isn't there a debate? Maybe this is a better question for Clay. 65 and 77. Isn't there debates for Arkansas, and based on how they finished the season, based on who they beat? I think those are at least debatable.
65 more than 77.
65 more than 77. Because they switched, again, this is before my time, they switched when they announced the national champion, I think that year after Arkansas won, right?
You talking about in 64?
Yes, well,
because
65.
they played they played Nebraska in the Cotton Bowl and won, and Alabama played their bowl game and lost.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, but Alabama was claiming national championship on the regular season before. You had one that was the Writers' poll, one that was the AP poll, and it was split. So, then I think you're right. The procedure changed to the final poll being after the bowls that next year.
So where does UCF declaring themselves as 2017 national champions fit in all of this?
Again, they're close to Alabama. That's it's not too far from Orlando up to the state of Alabama. So these are, I guess it's a Southern thing or something. I don't know. You just claim titles. Why don't we just claim one? Why didn't Arkansas just claim the 2018 baseball championship? We'll just claim it.
I'd like to claim that McFadden won both Heisman.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. We'll McFadden won both Heisman. Sure, why not? While we're at it.
Oh man, I really hope they.
Let's just have alternate reality.
Mm-hmm. Well, keeping up the SEC update going this morning. Fernando Carmona Jr. and Cam Ball have been named to preseason All-SEC teams. I think Carmona's first team, Ball was third team for this upcoming season. We talking with Richard earlier. I know Cam's kind of the stalwart in the middle of that group, Tommy, but he doesn't seem as worried about maybe the interior, the defensive line that some do. I know it's a kind of wait till you see till September the 13th in Oxford, Mississippi, but he seemed a little more confident than some when it comes to Arkansas's inside on the D-line.
Well, I don't think we're worried about, Cam Ball, or maybe worried about, some of the guys that are on that front four, whether it's Rhodes or Collins or Solly. And I know that Oki's, got the injuries. It's the depth. I don't think anyone's concerned whether the front line can go, but it's whether or not you've got too deep at those positions or six guys that can rotate, particularly those inside guys. You'd like to have four guys that could rotate through there. So I don't think it's so much about, the front line guys. It's the depth, and I think it becomes a question of scheme, and that's one thing is you're going to be out the next couple of days that we'll talk about with Clay is Arkansas got a legitimate look at some three-man fronts this year just based on their lack of perceived depth on that defensive line.
All right, last thing here in your SEC update, Nick Saban joking with his former quarterback Greg McElroy after the whole snafu at SEC Media Days.
So, Coach, what do you say to the rumors that you are returning to the sidelines to coach?
I don't know where that came from. Greg McElroy played quarterback for us, and if it had done something like that when he's a player, you guys next.
Having some fun with his former quarterback and current ESPN analyst. Again, for those that missed it, I think most of you know, Greg McElroy said at SEC Media Days that he had heard from a reliable source that to not rule out Nick Saban coming back to coaching. Since then, Saban addressed it on Fox. His daughter addressed it on social media. It's not going to happen. Greg got a lot of crap for it, but I just thought that was funny. Of course, Coach Saban's just kind of joking there, but I did find that entertaining.
No, I don't think he was.
You think he was serious?
Because back when he was a player, he'd have got his tail kicked. I think he's 100% on that deal. So, but I don't think Nick Saban's coming back to coaching. Don't see it happening. All right, that's your SEC update brought to you by Sterling Bank. When it comes to banking, you deserve a pleasant and productive experience and one that puts you first. That's exactly what you'll find at Sterling Bank, your community bank right here in Northwest Arkansas. Top-notch customer service with every transaction feeling very personal because they're not just bankers. These people are your friends. They're your neighbors right here in Northwest Arkansas, and they're deeply committed to the people, the businesses, and the organizations that make NWA thrive. Their passion for growth and progress fuels everything they do. So if you're looking for a local bank with a friendly feel and a friendly banker that fits your needs, visit Sterling Bank. They're in Fayetteville, Rogers, and Bentonville. Learn more at stirbank.bank, STR Bank. Sterling Bank, invested in you, committed to Northwest Arkansas.
We've talked about this season numerous times this year leading up, 10 days out and everything else. I'm going to remove Texas from this question because I think that's the consensus. I think you want to beat Texas more than anyone every single year. I'm going to give you 5 teams, 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. You tell me, Tommy, Colton, and our audience who you want to beat the most between Ole Miss, LSU, Notre Dame, Missouri, and Texas A&M. If I could wave a magic wand, say, hey, we're going to get a marquee win this year, it's one of those 5 teams. Who is it? Tommy, you start.
Well, I'm gonna, and it's probably not as flashy or maybe as popular as some on that list, but I would go with Missouri because generally when you win your last game of the year, good things happen for the postseason. I would imagine that game's going to come around with something on the line. So there's nothing ever wrong with winning your last regular season game. It does nothing to hurt you. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go with Missouri. Notre Dame's a bigger name. Texas might be more saucy. LSU,
Texas is removed though. Yep.
But I'm just saying Missouri would probably be the weightiest win out of that just because of where it's on the schedule.
Shane in Poto also agrees with you. He's texting in Missouri. Patrick in Benville says Notre Dame. I think about so those games. You've got two of them SEC-wise at home. Notre Dame's at home. And then you've got Ole Miss and LSU on the road. I think you can point to each game and say just the importance level. I think Missouri's going to be vying for a college football playoff spot at that juncture of the season on November the 29th. So you could play spoiler in that game in addition to beating them for just the third time since they've joined the Southeastern Conference. But I'm going to go A&M because Darren's going to be back. I'm going to guess Coach Nutt's going to be back. A lot of his teammates are going to be back. Arkansas has had that one game each year where they played out of their minds and won. You think about Tennessee last year. You think about, I guess, the road game against Florida if you want to pinpoint one. 22 is Ole Miss. 21, it was Texas. You want that home marquee win. You haven't beaten A&M except in 2021 since they've joined the SEC. So I'm going to point to that game just because of the nostalgia, the significance, what this season is for Darren McFadden and what he's meant to the University of Arkansas and this fan base. I'm going to say A&M just for personal, and I just hate that school with the fire of 1,000 suns.
I'm sorry that this is probably just a basic take, but I'm going to go with what I think a lot of fans also agree with, and it's the Ole Miss game. Look, for me, nothing motivates me more in my life than spite and revenge, and I hope that the Razorbacks feel the same way. I would love to get an early win in the SEC slate against a team that's been better than you over the last several years. That would be a great kickstart to the season. Might have some fans open their eyes up a little bit more support for the program, and hopefully, it just goes on to a snowball effect and the rest of the season gets better. But I want to beat Ole Miss. I can't stand Lane Kiffin's smug, smarmy little face, and I would love to go in there to Oxford and ruin that tailgate.
So you don't like his smug, smarmy little face, but you work with Ty every day. How do you balance that?
I have a massive
Colton?
monitor right in front of my face. I can't see him at all. It's perfect.
Yeah, I don't know why people watch our video stream. That's their
well
own.
For me, that's why.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I think to Colton's point about the dynamics of the Ole Miss game, you mentioned it's just third game of the season, sets the tone for the year, changes the outlook of the season. You get the dynamics of Sam Pittman and Lane Kiffin. Again, they got bulldozed last year at home. That was embarrassing. Jackson Dart ate you alive. Now, the previous 2 years, he sucked against you, so you hold that again.
That game got him drafted.
Yeah, and he was great. I mean, it broke all these records, and they just ripped you apart. You got the 3 kids that left, and you want to beat them for personal reasons. And you've got this idea, and I don't know behind the scenes what actually happened or not, but there's just an idea out there. Hunter let Lane Kiffin go. You could have paid him more, and look at where Ole Miss is compared to Arkansas. That should fuel every single young man in that locker room. It's like, we believe in our head coach. That's why we're here. We think he's better than Lane Kiffin, whether that's true or not. You've had success close games in Oxford. Now you got to find a way to win not just that close game, but some other close games this fall.
Hey, if you're looking for a way to get your favorite lures from Pradco at the click of a button, I've got the answer for you. It's lurenet.com. Not only do you find Rebel, Yum, and Booyah there and a whole lot of other brands, but also exclusive deals that are only at lurenet.com on your favorite baits and tackles. So go there now. All free, all U.S. orders over $35 get free shipping, and you'll be sure to find all the things to fill up your tackle box. That's lurenet.com. lurenet.com.
Shane texting in, would love to beat Notre Dame to rub it in Orange's face. Orange has already volunteered to do the pre and post game that day, so it would be fantastic to watch Arkansas somehow, some way win that football game and watch him have to subject himself to 2 hours of our fans and our listeners bashing Notre Dame.
Oh, no. We'll expand the show. It won't be 2 hours.
Be
we may go
that.
3, 4. We just keep going till the phone lines melt. We'll take turns.
phone
We'll have
just
pizza
goes.
ordered in. We'll get nourishment brought down to the studio. We'll get Gatorade if we need it. Whatever. No, we will continue to take those calls that Zach will have to answer if Arkansas does pull that upset.
I pointed this out. There's no guarantee that they're going to be undefeated in that game.
They're
They gotta
starting
play
a freshman quarterback.
Yeah, they don't. Did Freeman announce that?
CJ Carr is the starter. They're
they
starting
did
a
announce
freshman
that?
quarterback.
Okay, and you're playing Miami, and you're playing. And I know they lost. What's his face? Why can't I think of the number one quarterback from last year that got drafted by the Titans? You're gonna have to help me. Cam Ward. Thank you. They lost him. They're still going to be good under Cristobal. I know Texas A&M is notorious 8-4, 9-3, but Elko and them will give them a challenge in College Station. There's no guarantee that they will be undefeated heading into that game, but you kind of want them to be so you can knock them off potentially for the first time of the 2025 season. So that's the play out. But I completely understand where Shane's coming from because there's been a lot of smack talk. I think Arkansas fans are excited about the prospect of playing Notre Dame. Not necessarily beating them. You want to beat them, but you're not going out there and saying, we're going to beat Notre Dame week 5. God. But the idea of just getting to play these guys is pretty cool since I believe it hadn't happened in the history of your football program.
If Arkansas does that and Orange has to answer those calls, I mean, it might be the first time ever we got like 8 or 9 of us hosting the show together. I mean, we may all come in from all corners of the ESPN Arkansas Hit That Line globe to enjoy that moment. So that might be the most glorious moment of the season. You'd give up a lot to make that happen.
You want to change your pick from Missouri to Notre Dame?
No, but I do see where it would be glorious, outstanding. So, hey, another weekend coming up at Gaston's White River Resort, and if you think about it, your weekend coming up, I didn't have much going on this weekend, or I'm thinking about Labor Day weekend, or maybe the kids have fall break in October, maybe Thanksgiving week. Think out right now and the times of the year where, hey, I could get away for a long weekend, or maybe it's just checking in Friday and checking out on Sunday. Just a standard weekend. Gaston's has got a great cabin, one of their lodges, and you could take 2 of you, or a real peaceful weekend, just you, yourself, and I, for the weekend at Gaston's. Or they got room for like family reunions, business getaways, where they can put cabins side by side, or they got one that can host over 20 under one roof. They got a meeting center there that can easily accommodate over 100 people for corporate meetings, family gatherings, whatever you need to do. They get their own on-site airstrip, so those with private planes can land there as well. Great restaurant that overlooks the White River. A lot of people fly in for Sunday brunch and just have brunch and fly out, So it's an amazing place. 870-431-5202. The fishing's always star of the show, so don't go to Gaston's and skip out on fishing on the White River as well. 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time, every time.
Everybody's talking about Richard's Meat Market because that's my spot, and of course Richard and Chris have been around forever.
What's Your Beef Wednesday is brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
I'll be with you guys.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Do you have a read, or do we need to?
You pretty well ruined it. So go ahead.
You just talked for 20 seconds.
This is the Morning Rush.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work, and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800, or visit inatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
All right, final segment on the Morning Rush. We'll wrap up our What's Your Beef Wednesday coming up in just a bit. Before we do that, got to tell you about our friends at Rath Auto Resources and Rath Mitsubishi. You know, it was David's birthday yesterday. Tommy, what do you think he is, 30? 31? Is he my
38.
age? 38.
38 is what he said.
Well, I was trying to give him some years, trying to help him out here. Either way, always great time talking to David. Always great time talking to Larry as well. I know he's been fishing and having a good summer thus far. They have extended their state sales tax paid when you trade. I know that was something they were kind of doing in conjunction with state tax-free weekend, and now, again, they're continuing on through the end of the month. So whether in Springdale at Rath Mitsubishi or in Fort Smith at Rath Auto Resources, you can take advantage of that awesome deal, awesome promotion. They're road-ready certified vehicles. They get fully inspected. There's a warranty on them. You don't really typically get that with pre-owned vehicles, but they have it for you at both locations. Plus, the Mighty Key Car Care Center is always a great place. Oil changes, ins and outs of your vehicles, they all know it. That's Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. You got a final beef as we conclude the show here today, Tommy?
The police activity on the interstate had traffic all screwed up this morning. I don't know why they were out so much this morning. I don't know if it was a beef, but that was something that happened this morning. Very foggy, but hey, I'm just glad this weather's finally going to break. Everybody is in like a pissed off mood right now when it's 105 degrees. No one has a good attitude. I'm not excluding me from this. Everybody's just mad right now. So I'm ready for the weather to break because a bunch of you out there are pretty crotchety right now. You need to settle down. So I'm looking forward to a break in the weather to get everybody in a better mood.
Get some rain, get some mid 70s, low 80s next week. So, yeah, I think a lot of people feel that exact same way. Again, we're 10 days out, and it's going to be a high of 80 degrees, apparently, on the during kickoff for Arkansas and Alabama A&M.
Yeah. What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richards Country Meat Market, 1 block east of College and Rolling Hills Drive, 3042 North Market Avenue in Fayetteville. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com. Everything you need for your tailgate or your home gate, they've got it with prime beef, gourmet burgers, fresh kebabs, bacon wrap fillets, all the sides that go with it as well. Order ahead, 479-443-0000, or go to richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
Hall of Famer Clay Henry, features editor of Whole Hog Sports, joins Tommy the next 2 days. I'm off to the Redneck Riviera. For Tommy and Colton, I'm Ty. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. Ready for this heat wave to discontinue.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, head